Little by little.
We're getting involved.
Look at this. This is just magic right now. Oh, this is just... Oh, that's wondrous, is what that is.
Yeah.
Look, already started there.
I mean, none of you can see what we're doing, but we're very excited about it.
Yeah. It's all going down here. Oh, that's a bit big, isn't it? There we go.
I don't need to see myself that big. Yeah, how is everyone? We're in. I'm just doing my usual. Again, I apologise for it every week. I'm going to stop apologising.
Stop apologising. Don't even bother.
I need to send out some social media links. We live in a world where Donald Trump is president of the United States, based purely on his Twitter profile, really, and his Twitter presence. So, and look where it got him.
To rule the world.
Tops off. I'll take my hoodie off, I think, in a bit.
Did you want to see this? Yeah, of course you did. Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod is in the house.
Hot Calhoun. Hot Rory.
Hot Rory Calhoun. So, you're with us, Nicky, anyway. It feels like you're here in a room with two grown-ass men who are just about to talk nonsense for a weekly ramble. A weekly ramble of nonsense. And it is nonsense, don't get us wrong. But it's our opinion, goddammit. And we can do whatever we want here. We can take our tops off if we want. It wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't matter.
There's no limits. There are limits.
There are limits. There's definitely limits.
There are limits.
There's limits to what I'm willing to do to get an audience.
But yeah. But
do you know what we haven't got?
What are you saying? Mr. Waffles Pricklesworth. The non-sweary hedgehog.
Oh, you can't even see him.
Mr. W. Pricklesworth. Jane, you hearing that?
You in?
We've named him Professor Waffle Pricklesworth.
He's got his doctorate in the last week.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah. He's got a lot on. I thought he just lived in a fruit bowl.
He does live in it's like an egg basket, which has got no eggs in.
Egg basket.
Yeah, Jane? Yeah, don't you make any other better names than Mr. W. Pricklesworth MD.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
He is a doctor of thugonomics or soccernomics.
He's here to. Oh, but he's just on our shoulder to stop somebody from swearing.
Yeah.
Not naming any names.
And whisper us
Rory
the XG when we talk about footballers. So when we're talking Daniel Sturridge, he's going to be completely quiet.
He's going to hush right up.
He's probably going to talk more when we talk Daniel Sturridge about XG than he would do if we were talking Saido Berahino, whose XG is it must be the lowest of anyone.
Sort of bless him, he's a non-existent player now, isn't he?
He is. He's barely a footballer. Right, while I'm just doing this, should we do what we usually do?
Yeah.
Go on. I'm going to give you one of our questions of the week. This one was brought to us by... Oh, let's start with a Nathan one.
Yes, Gormley.
Yes, Gormley.
You're in. Chelsea aren't playing tonight.
Ain't no party like the Gormley party. Gormley saw us in.
Score.
In honour, I was going to go with Nathan's, but I'm going to go with Gormleysaurus. Gormleysaurus threw us a question this week. How many... So we'll start with this while I faff. How many trophyless years for Klopp, Rafa, etc. before people realise that Sean Dyche is better and deserves big jobs over them? And I've also thrown in not just Sean Dyche, but also the old guard. That's my throw-in, not Gormley's.
So You've outlived it.
Big Sam getting the Everton job. And now it's sort of a bad example because Dyche was rumoured, and so he may have turned that down. However, you get my gist.
The gist.
Pardew.
How many? Do you want an actual figure?
Gormley,
do you want an actual figure? How many trophyless years for Klopp and Rafa? Why are you bringing Rafa into it? What's the situation there, mate? What are you thinking? Rafa is in what?
Well, he won you a cup. I don't know. Chelsea fans have just got...
What's the issue? Why have you got beef with Rafa? Like, he's proven... He got laughed out of the league when he left. And now he's proof that he's actually, like, a decent enough manager to manage. Your call. Well, two more years. How about that? I think Klopp. Yeah, they're not going to ditch Klopp, are they? They're not. They've got a healthy pool from Germany, which he can pluck because that's his thing, isn't it? Raf, because he's not the tactical genius people think, but he's a magician. We've seen that on video. He's still a quasi decent manager though, to prove that. Look, I think you underestimate what he's done in Newcastle. By the way, I would say that Newcastle, they were absolutely in turmoil before Rafa. There was a train wreck going on there, and to bring stability on a shoestring, I think he's done well. Rafa stepped his shocking at Chelsea. Should have won the cup. How far did Rafa get though with Chelsea?
Won the Europa League.
Okay. Well, that's good then, isn't it?
We still won a cup.
That's good. Where do you think...
like Rafa. We've talked about this on a previous podcast. That I actually think that Rafa Benitez, I don't know why he's not linked with more top jobs. Well,
after this job, he will be. I think he'll pick and choose, really. Do you think Klopp is a better man manager than Rafa? Because it seems like Rafa, being a tactician, it didn't seem like he had full control of the players themselves. So I think he seemed to be lacking there. Pards would have done the same without a moaning. Pards would not. Pards has got issues. Pards has got that guy's got anger issues.
Yeah, Pards has got many issues.
Pards is not a stable man to have in any sort of position of power. That's insane. Pards will not do that. That's you're talking jive.
Right.
You're just pinning the tail on the blame donkey.
You can't argue with the Gormley-saurus about Rafa Benitez all night.
Well, I can't, but
no, you can't.
The tail.
Stop pinning the tail on Rafa.
On the blame game.
What have you got against Rafa?
In football, how is it a thing? There's one fall guy.
Right.
Pards is great. Pards is great. I think when Pards goes away from football, do you know what will remain?
What?
His little dance.
His dance. If anything,
it's a meme forever.
Alan Pardew has given the world nothing but a meme. That's all he's given them. And I'm grateful for it.
Oh, yeah. If that's all that I've left behind in life, I'd be all right with that.
I wish I could leave behind something.
I'll be happy.
I wish I could leave
I'll be
behind
dancing. Lots of people will see my legacy of that. It won't be picking a fight with Arsene Wenger. It won't be going absolutely mental for some stupid reason. No. It won't be. I like the fact that he tries to calm things down when he's a pundit now. Yeah. He tries to just rein it in because he needs that. It is a stressful job. And I could see why someone like Pards would just take it. I think his mental health was in a state of disarray. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was worried about David Moyes, but he's pulled it around, isn't he? It's amazing what a win can do.
It's amazing what a win could do.
It's amazing what a win can do, and we see that in Swansea actually. Swansea are actually doing all right, and do you know what? You're saying, oh, they didn't need another game. I think they benefit from a cup run.
Yeah, we were just talking. Right, we were just talking about
the preamble ramble.
The preamble ramble. We were talking about the FA Cup. The fifth round draws just happened, and I said that Swansea, the last thing they needed was another game because, I mean, look, they're going to get relegated. They are going to get relegated, and their squad isn't capable, in my opinion, of competing at all in the Premier League, really. I know they beat Liverpool, but that's probably going to turn out to be an anomaly. And they drew with Wolves, and they had a replay. And now they've drawn with Notts County, and they've got a replay. And it's just, it's like FIFA career modes. When you're doing a FIFA career mode, you don't need an FA Cup replay because you know what's going to happen. The congestion will come in. You won't have fit players. You'll get injuries.
Here's another insight. Talking about budget Burnley and Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
Do you think he could do the damage at a bigger club, or do you think that's his level? That's his level. He knows what he's got to play with. He's got a mentality in place. Budget Burnley knows what they're about. Got a strong work ethic. Working together, learn some things. Not prepared to break any sort of wage structure to just remain as they are. Do you think he could actually step up to that next level and be a top manager?
My worry with Sean Dyche is if he does move to a bigger club, will he suffer the same fate that Davy Moyes did when he left Everton? Now, if he'd stayed at Everton, he could potentially still be there. He was at a good club. He knew what he was doing. He'd had his, because people forget that, like, you know, his first season, was it, or second season, he was actually struggling. They nearly got relegated. And then he built up. Yeah, he built up. And he was a success. And then he left to join United, and we all know what happened there. And he's only just about got back to a level of certain.
But do you think that we've seen the example left by Marco Silva recently?
Exactly, mate.
You can't just step in stone and jump quick and choose the right timing for it. Got to do at least a season with the team to show.
Yeah.
So I think that's a factor as well. But hey, we don't know what happens behind closed doors, do we?
No.
We don't know, do we?
We
do
don't
you know?
We don't know. No.
I don't know.
Do any of you know what happens behind closed doors?
Gormley, do you know what's happening?
Do you know what's happening behind them closed doors?
Slagging Rafa off.
I do agree with that.
He's just there with his red little cheeks.
Googley's saying Dyche would be better taking a club to top four than he would be if he took over an established top four club. Yeah, he would. I don't think that's going to happen at Burnley. There's levels, and the problem is now, I used to have set levels in the Premier League. They were very, do you know what I mean? You had you had United, you had Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool. That was your top four every year, really, until Everton came in.
Blooming Everton.
And then you had your mid-table. You had your mid-tables then, which were Everton, Villa, so on. And then you had your bottom clubs who were West Brom constantly, you know, and that level. And then, let's do it. And then we're going to play some FIFA.
And we're going to do it with the FA Cup 5th round as well. So we're going to choose whatever ones. Pick one, anyone.
Oh. Let's do West Brom Southampton.
Okay. Bagsy West Brom.
Oh, go on.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'll be West Brom.
Right, we're going to do Southampton West Brom.
We're going to play a couple of FA Cup 5th rounders because it's just dropped now and we're ahead of the game. We're ahead of the curve.
What's everyone think of the FA Cup 5th round? Is your team still in it?
It hasn't kicked in.
Adam's in. Adam's a Liverpool fan. Who you got in the 5th round? Yeah.
Be easy on him, Gormley.
4th from bottom for about 6
Gormley,
years.
be easy on him. Come on now.
This is going to be a nightmare. No,
Liverpool are very good at disappointing their fans, by the way.
They are.
But hey, that's part of football. That's the ebb and flow of the game. And if you're going to blame anyone, blame Rafa Benitez. Blame him for everything.
I would.
I think Klopp,
I think you need to leave it now.
Klopp gets away with a hell of a lot, by the way. But he is one of the most charismatic managers that have been there, and it'll be interesting to see how far he takes it. So I do think Klopp is good for Liverpool on the whole.
Look at
this, Johnny Evans, Arsenal's soon-to-be player, Johnny Evans.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Johnny Evans? Is it like a Mikel Silvestre sort of thing for you?
With Johnny Evans, it's a weird one because at United, I did kind of like him, but I do suffer a lot from with United. I get youth team blindness. If a player comes through the youth
that's
team,
your Football Manager coming out.
It is. I get youth team, but if a player
comes through youth team blindness.
Youth team blindness.
Perceived very well.
What if a player comes through the youth team? I am more inclined to give him more chances than I. Okay, right. What's that?
I have no idea what that was.
That sounded like there was a P in it. We were in a room with Elton John for a minute.
I wonder if the guys at home heard that.
Did anyone else just hear a piano?
I finished. Remember I had one season.
Yeah. I've lost my track. Youth team blindness. So yeah, if a player comes to the youth team, I'm more inclined. Blind. That was youth team. His hand was youth team. That was a visual point. I'm more inclined to give them more chances as a fan. So in my head, I was more willing to let Johnny Evans play shocking than I would be Chris Smalling and Phil Jones. But then any young player at all, I like seeing young players be given a chance at any club. So I'm the same with, again, I'm bringing it back to FIFA because we're the FIFA Ramble. But I will, in my youth team, I would much rather bring through players, train them, than go out and sign. And if I do sign, I sign young players and I develop them.
So there we go.
It's my love of Brian Clough coming out, that is.
It's Cloughiness.
My Cloughiness. I'm a big Brian Clough fan, greatest manager ever.
Yeah, bet you blew more lago on me. Bet you are.
Yeah.
Next season, Chelsea United, Pep City, Rafa Liverpool. You kidding? Arsenal something. Poch Spurs, Ancelotti Chelsea. That'd be amazing. Ancelotti. Yeah. Look.
No, you're getting who was Rafa. Who was it linked with Chelsea? Was it Allegri? I want to say it was Allegri because Ancelotti's been because Italy still haven't got a manager, have they? Italy haven't got a manager. Now that's what I've read.
Because there's no rush for them, is it? They're not in any rush.
And I've read that it's going to be either RB Leipzig or Bayern Munich, not Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund. I've forgotten their names now. The Borussia Dortmund coach at Arsenal. That's what I've heard.
Thomas.
I can't remember his name.
Not too sure.
No, not Thomas Tuchel. Because he hasn't got a club, has he? But no, I've heard. That's what I've heard anyway.
Is that what you heard?
Yeah, I've heard Ancelotti.
Through the grapevine.
I'm sure it was Allegri.
Allegri is in the mix.
Who was linked with Chelsea?
Right, we're gonna get in this game. These kits are a bit flashy.
No,
yeah, there we go.
Just focus on the shorts.
Yeah. Go on, Hal Robson. No, yeah.
Oh, straight up.
There we go.
Right, let's jump in. Right, can we talk Pep Guardiola?
Oh, should we do VAR first?
Yeah, let's do VAR. Another question. We got a lot of questions this week about VAR. The best way of putting it, or two good ways I heard, was VAR is good and inevitable, but the use of the VAR, it never ceases to amaze me how much the FA and Premier League and the Chiefs
I find it the equivalent
their
of
ability to screw things up so easily.
I think it's the equivalent of giving like a new iPad to a nana. You got to give it time.
Yeah,
like, it's going to work, but there's so many cynical.
It's 100% going to work.
Yeah, absolutely, and it makes utter sense.
In other sports,
it makes sense to do.
This isn't like. This isn't like suddenly playing football in the air. This is what what you've got is you've got something which is used a lot in other sports very successfully, and it's very new to football. And what you've got is referees leaning on it too heavily at the moment,
or not even bothering to use it properly. Oh, good finish.
That. When I watched did you watch the Liverpool game?
I did.
Right. It just seemed to me that every time something happened, he was immediately like, oh, hang on. And he's checking everything.
There's no composure
on it too much, that's all.
And there's no composure. No. Then you saw it used atrociously.
It was bad, but again, it's teething problems. This thing is, I don't understand people are having a crack at it constantly.
I'll tell you why. Do you want to know? I'm going to tell you. People love to hate.
They do.
People
it's
are
just
always going to do
it. In it. It's going to work. We know it's going to work because it works in other sports. It needs to happen.
Yeah, it is a necessity and it's essential. It was shocking how Man City didn't get that goal allowed Bernardo Silva.
Yeah,
I don't understand the reasoning behind that.
It's there's going to be issues, isn't there?
There are, but I just don't think refs are confident with it just yet.
No, not yet. But then that will all come in time.
Yeah,
you know, they'll get more confident with it. They'll know how to use it. They'll trust their own judgment a lot more. Because at the minute, look, they don't want to be the ref who could have gone to the VAR. Didn't and got a massive decision wrong. So they are leaning
there's
on
ones
it.
Though they don't even lean on it. They just don't stubborn with their own thoughts, and it seems like they're second guessing themselves a lot.
Yeah, they are. They are. So
they're so scared to make a mistake, and I think they don't want robots replacing them.
Well, it's a new toy, isn't it? That's what it is for me, anyway. It's a case of.
There was uproar, 3 points for a win. Interesting numbers.
What I think is, I just think that it's a new toy. They're using it a lot more. It'll settle down eventually.
Simmer down.
It'll settle down. They'll stop leaning on it so much, and it'll be fine.
Just do the decisions of the decisions you're not sure about.
Well, how about adding in that managers or clubs, like someone can request, say like in, I'm not saying that I agree with it, but no, with like Hawkeye in tennis, in that they've got a number of challenges.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, it's 3, and then they can go to the video, they can go to Hawkeye, and they can challenge the decision. So add that in, because I think I'm not saying I agree with it. I just think it would be an added element. So you got Wenger, he didn't see it, and all the usual.
Oh, come off it. Why would you comment in the heat of it? It's only going to be used against you. So that's the reason behind I did not see it, which makes sense.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's perfect for this discussion. It's the only example, except Mourinho. Nice. I just think there's a lot to be added in, but it's going to become, there's an eventuality.
Oh, here's a thought. If you're on Twitch,
head on over. If you've got a Twitch account, if you go into the FIFA Ramble, search for FIFA Ramble on Twitch. We're live now.
But we'll look to put it back out with us.
Yeah, we're gonna mess around with it.
We're gonna have a little play around.
But we're live streaming the FIFA now on Twitch.
VAR is always going to be a bone of contention coming up. So we're gonna move on, because we could chat about that.
We could, because
it is an absolutely positive thing for the sport, and it is much needed once it gets finessed. So
bear in mind, it wasn't that long ago that people were complaining about having like 7 subs. Well, it wasn't that long ago people were complaining about having 3 subs. It's substitute. You're either 1 to 11 or you're 12.
What's the situation with wages then, Nathan?
Right, Nathan commented that what he wanted, basically what he's saying is that there's been a lot of uproar about Sanchez. Not uproar, that's the wrong word to use. There's been a lot said about Alexis Sanchez costing Manchester United a lot of money with wages and agent fees. Well, again, it's undisclosed. People were spending around 500 grand, but it's the truth of the matter is that he's on parity with Paul Pogba, which is roughly 300.
Pogba parity.
Paul Pogba parity. The
triple P.
Yeah, the
business term.
P triumphant. It's so it's he cost a lot of money. There was agent fees. There was all of this, and he's then said, "Well, Virgil van Dijk cost 75 million. He's on a lot of money." There was a massive signing on fee for Virgil van Dijk. There was an awful lot of money thrown into that transfer, but no one's talked about the money aspect of the transfer. But they have talked about the money aspect of the Sanchez deal ad nauseum. He just was like, why is that the case? And I would suggest that it's because it's Manchester United.
And it's supply and demand. The fact is that they pushed Man City to the limit with that. And then they decided against it because
Manchester United outspent Man City.
And look, it's just, that's exactly what it is. No one begrudges that. Like, that's the way it works. And look, you've got the sweetest orange on the tree or whatever. Reaching right up there.
Orange.
Right up. You can still find juicy ones lower down there.
Yeah.
Which I think more people should realise.
There are still juicy ones down
there. There are. Mahrez is a lovely one.
Mahrez is a nice one. He's probably higher up to the top.
Well, but he's never always been like that, is he?
No, but you'd have to get a substantial reach to get the Mahrez orange.
It is, but I'm just saying
maybe a small step ladder.
I'm just saying they're there. That's
1 or 2 step. I didn't even know you were through then. This kit clash is
it's definitely a kit clash. Chadley! Right, FA Cup it's just been announced, and it turns out that West Bromwich are winning 3-1 against
yeah, so if you put your money on FA, if you're a gambler,
Southampton,
put your money on West Brom to beat Southampton.
3-1.
We're doing well, this is consumer review, isn't it? This is the football version of
I think they call it an ACCA.
An ACCA is
ACCA, is that word?
Yeah, an ACCA
it's one of those gambling words.
One of them gambling words.
So like
yeah, it's one of them gambling words for people who don't have any money.
Yeah. And they never remember all the times they lost.
Yeah, they use the word ACCA and they listen to Talk Sport. That's what I tend to find.
Yeah.
This is an annihilation.
Oh, G-Bar. Go on.
Gazbaz is having a laugh.
He's having a right old time. He's coming off on that. He's knackered.
He's loving it.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah,
that's sorted.
We could talk about it for ages.
I could do. Did you see the City game? The City game?
Do you know what?
The City game. The City.
I listened to it. I didn't watch it because I was putting together a bed.
That is quite elaborate.
Yeah, that's. Do you know what that's called? Married with kids.
I think it's called.
That's adulting. Yeah, it's just being an adult. I bought a new bed and it needed putting together, so the football had to take a somewhat backseat. Like I say, it was on in audio rather than visual.
Beds
don't put themselves together.
They don't. They don't come like that, do they?
Do you know why one thought from that game is I actually think it's now unfair that Kevin De Bruyne is as good as he is.
Is that what you're getting from that?
I do think it's unfair. I was talking about it this morning in that he's brilliant on a dead ball. What you're saying is he's a modern all-round player. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
Are you saying he's a joy to watch?
He is.
You say he's underrated?
Yeah, massively underrated. For me, he's the best player in the Premier League.
Like if you ask all the fans out there who are their favourite players, I think most of them would say KD.
Oh, he's up there, but I don't know. I think he just gets lost a little bit.
But mind you, he's still in his infancy of his career, really, isn't he? So I think he will gain more credit the further he goes along. But yes, you're right. He is superb.
I think he's the best in the Premier League.
Yeah. That'll be just in his position, yeah.
I think he's the best player in the Premier League.
Best player, no, not better than Klopp.
I think he is. I think he's an better all-round player. I think he's a much better all-round player.
Oh!
Let's put it to the test. Right, you lot that are listening, who's a better player? Who's the best player in the Premier League?
Gormley, who is it?
Because for me, it's Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's the best all-round player. He can score, he can pass. He's actually really good in the tackle, which is what makes it unfair. He's the best. He's arguably the best striker in the Premier League. I don't think he's a better all-round player than De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne can do what Aguero does, but I don't think vice versa. What happened there?
What happened there?
Højbjerg is going to be playing right.
Kante.
Well, that's why we don't speak to the public.
Right, let's move on.
Move
right on.
Anyway. Look, hang on a minute. Kante is a fantastic player. I don't think he's better.
Do you think Ndidi's Kante 2.0?
Yes, I do like Ndidi.
Yes, indeedy.
Yes, indeedy. I'm bringing a left back on at Cam. That's what's going to happen here. Better than Hazard due to consistency. Yeah, I mean, again, Hazard is definitely up there, as is Mo Salah this season.
Mo Salah, yeah.
Player this season. I do think on his day, I think Mane is almost unplayable.
I think he's taken a back seat since Salah's been here.
Oh, he definitely has, but he's still phenomenal.
Still phenomenally consistent.
I mean, what a player he is. Firmino gets overlooked.
Firmino, because he had a little blip midway through this season.
And
if
again,
he started off and was consistent enough, then
yeah. But again, people will call it bias if they know me. But Paul Pogba is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
He is a fool.
Unbelievable.
He's unbelievable.
Do you know my in honour of the dog song?
That's great. Very, very nice.
I
Snazzy. My point in bringing up City vs City is the big bone of contention. There's quite a few bones being thrown around left, right, and centre.
What did everyone think of the tackle?
Everyone's going to say it should have been a red card, and it was malicious. There was no point of the ball. I think the referee bottled it for the sake of it. When you see it, it's even worse, and gets worse the more times you watch it. Yeah. On that basis, it was definite. I have coined this phrase, and I would go as far as saying that's a very scunty tackle. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And
we just do an FA Cup.
Yeah, FA Cup.
Okay. Oh God knows out of them.
This seems a bit middled up, isn't it? A bit muddled up. Do you want to Millwall Spurs, or should we go? Oh, I'll be less. You be. No, hang on. You need to pick me up after losing. Right. I'll be Huddersfield. You be United.
I don't mind. Or we could do.
I'll be Huddersfield.
All right.
Come on, Huddersfield. You little underdogs. Moy's going to get you. So yeah, that should have been an absolute send-off situation, really.
It should be. The tackle that.
I enjoyed Pep's view on it because he chewed the ref's ear off. Yeah, absolutely he was. For a good reason as well. If no one's protecting the players, not my players. And that's what it should be.
Oh, well, I am. Oh, no.
Oh, we got Sanchez in there.
Yeah.
Sanchez monster.
We're now doing United Huddersfield.
Sanchez.
We are deciding. I can't have all three of them. That's just obscene.
It would be an outrage. It would be a moral outrage.
Come on, Luton boy, where are you? I thought he took the right stance on it.
It was. That's the moral stance. None of this Jose Mourinho in, is it? To the point.
Yeah, he did take the right stance on it, let's be honest. Warnock, on the other hand, did not. Somehow, Neil Warnock managed to turn the conversation from his player very nearly broke the leg of another footballer with a rash, stupid tackle.
When he was through and goal, when he ran about
it was a stupid tackle. It was it was unbelievably done. And Neil Warnock managed to turn it into some sort of mini Brexit vote. And he just started saying, well, he's not from around here, is he? He's not from the. What's that got to do with it? Like he genuinely said, well, he's not from Britain. All right then. What's that mean? So people in Britain have got what? Harder shins, have they? Neil Warnock was an absolute embarrassment.
He knows how fragile it is, so taking the heat off it is a need. If you're trying to protect your player, you would do something like that, wouldn't you? But Neil Warnock, in a very Neil Warnock way, I think they'd take an absolute hammering. Do you know why? Because I think Neil Warnock is in with the press. They like him because he's old school. And he's got lots of fans.
I'm not taking it. Look, Neil Warnock's very good at what he does. However, to argue that point at all, it was just ridiculous. It was so stupid. I just couldn't believe what I was listening to. It was like, look, just come out and say, look, it was a bad tackle.
Hang him out to dry.
No, but just tell the truth.
Who's got front? A-Dog.
Lukaku. I got Sanchez wide right, Martial wide left, Mata through the middle, and Lukaku.
Mata, eh? Okay. Who is gonna any shock moves? out of the Premiership.
Out of the Premier League?
Yeah.
There's already been one. Shock. Diafra Sakho.
Ring?
Yeah. He's left West Ham for Raw.
Surprised by that?
Not necessarily surprised. I just think it's another striker, isn't it, for West Ham that is they've tried and failed.
Yeah, constantly.
And I think he'll do well at in league. I believe he was there previously.
He's got previously.
I'm not 100% on where or why or what or where, how, and all those other W words that he used as questions. But I think he'll do well. It's that West Ham striking.
West Ham curse, isn't it?
Well,
it's like a striking hex.
Look at Hernandez. You know, that guaranteed 20 goal a season.
It's not. They just take a gamble on trash because they have to.
At the start of the season, we made predictions because someone we know suggested that Hernandez would guarantee, they were always used, signing Hernandez guarantees you at least 20 goals a season. He's never scored 20 goals in a season.
He never will.
And we guessed that it would be more like 8.
7.
Yeah, it was around. It was. I think it was conservative 8 is what we generally agreed on. And he's about that now, isn't he? I think he's about 5, maybe.
Yeah, 5. And he looks like he's probably going to be going.
Yeah, I can't. He's not going to stay much longer because, well, West Ham can't sign strikers.
They're useless.
I don't understand what the problem is.
Now, I'm loving this shadow. Right
yeah, you don't like the shadows, do you?
I'm not a fan of the shadow.
Anyone else play FIFA? Don't like shadows on the pitch? It does throw you somewhat. Have you seen the Stadio Olimpico?
I have, yeah.
Numerous times. The crisscross on the Stadio Olimpico on this game when you're playing in the day is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
He knew exactly what he was doing. Nice for me. He did, yeah, you're right.
He did.
He did. He pretty well did.
You're not wrong at all, mate. You're not wrong. It's
Moy
still in my team. I need to get rid of him.
Who for?
I don't know. I need your help with it. We'll do a post ramble. We'll talk about it on here. I need your fantasy football tips because I still got Richarlison. I still got Moy, and I don't need either.
I'm getting Arnautovic out because he's injured. And guess who else I got?
Who?
Masonda.
Good choice.
No. What's his face? The spitter, the guy who spat. The spitter, spitting the gee. Arthur. Arthur Masuaka.
Masuaka. I'm terrible that I cannot pronounce the name, but
it's so annoying because he's so promising, and he was actually in my dream team.
Very, very skillful. You know,
actually in my dream team. So he's been banned. I don't know, forever.
6 games. 6 game ban. 6 game ban for spitting at Nick Powell. It's not on, is it?
It's playground is what it is.
It is.
And it's very unnecessary. And it's one of the most disrespectful things you can do. Would you say?
Yeah, it's just what it is, isn't it? It's spitting on a place. Spitting on someone is just vile, isn't it? I mean, it's not quite
vile,
you know, Luis Suarez, but he's up there. He's up there. That you brought him up.
Yeah.
What I like Charlie Masonda. I'll be interested to see Gormley's opinion of Charlie Masonda because I think
Charlie Masonda
should be phenomenal.
Should definitely been brought into that squad. I don't see the reason why. They do this all the time.
I think he's phenomenal, Charlie Masonda. I think he's a brilliant young talent. He's been linked now with an 18-month loan move to Celtic. Oh, for God's sake. I can't shoot. Yeah, he's been linked with an 18-month loan move to Celtic, which I think would actually be really good for him. But it does make you think with the Celtic squad. Masonda, again, I mean, I know it's quite niche now talking about Scottish football, but James Forrest is their right winger, I believe. He's gone already. See, I told you it was niche. Masonda probably played more than you think for us. I think he's a long way off first team. And shows he's a long way off first team. Yeah, but he's just so much potential. I really like him. I really, really, really like him. But I do think,
like him?
Yeah, I do. But I do think that Celtic would be a great move for him. I think he'd play
it's
regular
a good place
football.
To farm out, I suppose.
He's going to get a good footballing, experience.
If you were a young striker which show promise, what club would you want to be at?
Right. It would depend on a few factors. Is it which would I like to develop, as a footballer, or which one would I like to play at to get first team football, basically? Because I think they're not necessarily mutually exclusive. Just to
it's 2-0 in the cup.
Just to get first team football, I would like to play at a top championship club, or even Celtic would be a good one. Just your Derby and Forest and things like that. Fulham, that sort of, because you're going to play week in, week out. But if I wanted to develop as a footballer overall, and not necessarily
put your little tush in the shop window,
and not necessarily play week in, week out, but know that I was going to get a very good base and learn a lot and challenge myself and so on, then it'd be Arsenal, without a shadow of a doubt.
No doubt in my mind. Do you know what mine would be? Obviously, it would be Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco's a good one.
I would choose like some awesome structured German team, like Mainz or like Hamburg or something like that.
Another good one would be like Lyon or Marseille, especially if you're a left back. Especially Marseille right now. But
what's Demi Payet doing? I haven't seen him for ages.
You see his goal he scored like a couple of weeks ago. He dummied the keeper, sent him one way, and the keeper had to go off injured. He did his knee because he just.
So he sent him for a hop.
Yeah, Payet just completely tore him apart. Just Payet one-on-one with the keeper, faked to go one way, went the other, and the keeper went, but his knee stayed still. I should have kept running. Should have kept running.
Yeah,
but yeah,
oodles of time.
I did. But your defender went the opposite way to what I was intending.
Stop defending. Every single time.
United wouldn't be a bad place to go as a young player if you wanted to just learn.
You wouldn't see the pitch though.
No, but that's why I think it's different. I do think it's not. They're not mutually exclusive. Like I said, I do think that there's certain clubs where, albeit you wouldn't play as much, but what you would do is get one hell of an education on the training field.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair.
I'm going to throw out some names.
Aubaneyang.
And I want you to... Oh, hang on a minute. I'll put him under the spell. Oh, they didn't fall over. I'm going to throw out some names, some transfers that are rumoured. And I want you to say whether they're going to be a hit or whether they're going to be a miss or whether they're going to be a meh. They're the noises. Hit, miss, meh.
Okay.
Then let's start with that. Aubaneyang to Arsenal for a rumoured 60 million.
That's sort of peanuts, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not much.
I think
I
it
think,
will.
I think it's a fair.
I think will happen.
That fee would be a lot more if he was a couple of years younger.
Or in form.
Because what is he, like
or
20?
enjoying? Yeah, he's 20. Or actually showing that he's enjoying this football. But saying that, I got to say, they're not playing very well, Borussia Dortmund.
No, they're not.
He thrives on like getting delivery and finishing his chances very well. He doesn't have too many touches when he does play. So technically, he is astute and he can finish. If he doesn't get the service, he's not going to play very well. What you'd find with Arsenal is you'd get the service, it would be a proper test for him. Do you think that would be a beneficial move for him? It's just like the Alexis Sanchez thing, right? There's no point in keeping a player there to be stale. It's better for him, it's better for the club to get some money to get the player gone, and then they can lead their own path there. Same thing with Sanchez. There's no point. It's a struggle. As a fan, I don't understand why you'd want to see that. And unfortunately, players do have a shelf life. They do.
Yeah.
Unless they're motivated enough to want to play for the club. And if that doesn't happen for one way or another, like fair dues. Everyone's ripping into Ross Barkley, right? That boy, he come on, didn't he? He burst his lungs playing for Chelsea. And that's the response that you get with a new club and trying to prove your worth. If it's 15 million, 55 or 155, it's irrelevant. I know that was
a bit rash. You're already 3 down.
That was
look at him. He's saying what we're doing.
That was definitely a Cardiff City tackle.
Yeah, that was a cut straight out of the.
So
he's not even British. He's not even British.
So with players like that,
who'd you bring down? You put that in the car.
It's just worthwhile letting him go. There's no point in keeping him, is there?
No.
It's better for them. It's better for you, and it is a business, and you have to squeeze as much pennies as possible. I think they're just taking the piss out of Arsenal, though.
A little bit.
Here we are, 59.7. No, 60. Screw you.
Yeah.
Get off. That's ridiculous.
Why do you think, though? Do you think Arsenal need him?
Yeah. They need some.
Do they need him now, or are they buying him? This stupid. No, that's what
Aubaneyang is to me.
Is he going to play where he needs to?
What Aubaneyang is to me, he's a fancy player. Everyone says he's similar to Lacazette. Lacazette does run himself into the ground more, and he gets more frustrated when he's not playing very well.
Yeah.
What Aubaneyang would be is not that. I think he'd be a classy player when he is playing well.
Yeah.
But I think Lacazette is trying, and look, it's his first season. They're harsh on him. It's his first season. And look, Arsenal are overperforming at the moment. They're nowhere near the level that is required from Arsenal. And that's frustrating to see. And I understand it. However, a big name signing like Aubaneyang might bring a bit of force back into it. You know, if they get a cup and get close to the Europa League final, and like anywhere near the top 5, that's decent, I think. And it's shown Man United can actually do that. When we first started this podcast,
yeah,
and we were there, and look what it's led into. Happy days. Jose Mourinho, new signing, new extended contract. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
So it's gathered momentum, and it's rebuilt Man United in a place where they were just going tumbling down and down the spiral, and little Paulie Scholes was pecking in. It's not the club it used to be, and this, that, and the other. They brought it back up with marketing, like the marketing we were talking about, build up. And this Alexis Sanchez thing is a big name player which people can actually get excited about because people want entertainment. If there's a player like Aubaneyang coming in and hits the ground running, bring a bit of joy. That's what Lacazette should have done. But the problem with Arsenal is it's required that squad, and the harmony in that squad needs to be better. And they're showing signs of it because they've been annihilating teams recently because of the Sanchez saga's done. It's buried. It's gone.
Yeah,
so I think a big name signing is useful.
It is good. I do agree there, actually. Because I think positionally, I think there's more important places that you could have and should buy in. However, you're right, because as a United fan, I enjoy signing, I enjoy signing talented players regardless. But there's something, when we signed Paul Pogba,
yeah, it's huge.
There was something about it because it was a huge name, and I got exactly that same feeling with Sanchez.
Yeah, now we talk about how that was released, right? That was very clever, and the delivery of that, the same way with Sanchez.
Signing Zlatan, even though that
was huge.
They were big deals, and even though, and I said it last year, I said it this on this podcast. I said when we signed Lukaku, I was happy. I was really happy because he's a very good striker. He's also, and again, he's been unfairly criticised by a lot of people this season because he has scored a lot of goals. It's his first season in a new club under a new manager who he's worked with before, but it's a new system. He's got to, like any footballer, he's getting used to it. But what he's also done is brought other players into that team. He's got a lot of assists, and his work off the ball is phenomenal. You pass that ball to him, he's going to hold it up and ain't no one taking it off him. Now, imagine that. Pass the ball to Lukaku, you hold it up, and then running off him is Martial, Alexis Sanchez, and Juan Mata, or Jesse Lingard,
and
or
now
Martial,
you've got options up front.
Rashford.
You don't just, it brings another dimension to the game. And they are few and far between those type of strikers, as we see that Chelsea are going back in for Eden Dzeko. Those type of players, like the Giroud. Giroud is a worker, and it's so frustrating not to see him up there. But then where do you play Lacazette? Where are you going to play Aubameyang?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I was saying.
He's still needed, but he needs time because of
well, I think there's two. Like I said, I think there's two different. You either sign, you've got your Alexis Sanchez, you've got your Zlatans, you've got your Aubameyangs, you've got your Matic, and I think Matic has been the most important player at Man United this season.
But they're exciting players, and I think they're marquee signings, and I think they're useful as well as commercially.
Everyone agrees that you
commercially huge.
Oh, I agree.
And Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang, you're going Hull.
I went Hull.
Yeah. Sturridge to Newcastle. Get him playing.
Yeah,
he's too talented for his career to be.
Is that a hit, miss, or a miss?
It's a hit because he needs time, because he needs to prove that he can do it. Because otherwise he's going to have to retire because he's too injured.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if it actually happens. Though I don't think they can afford it. I reckon we play this off stream because I reckon we.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Just throw out a few more. Right, this one actually. Lucas Moura.
Yes,
Spurs.
Why
25 million.
Why not?
It's a great signing, that is.
Well, the thing is with Spurs is.
No, that's true. That's the thing. Look, Lucas Moura has got more of a chance of getting winners' medals sat on PSG's bench than he has in the Spurs first team.
But if he wants to play, he's sorted out in the summer. I don't think it's. No,
I think £25 million for Lucas Moura is a steal.
Yeah.
That is an absolute bargain. 25 million for a player that good is crazy.
And we'll finish on our last point. I'm struggling for money this week.
Yeah.
I would need to buy groceries. I've got enough money.
Yeah.
To buy them.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot. It is.
That is Pep Guardiola.
It is. Yeah. I'm glad we're ending on this point. Yeah, Pep Guardiola. I mean.
I love the man. I think he's a beautiful man.
Let me just see if I got any loose change for him. Because
where's your spare money?
You
got spare money, yeah? You got kids, you got spare money?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got tons of spare money.
Well, what I'll do, because
let's buy something then.
I've got 2 children and a wife, and bills, and a house and all of this. But Pep's need is greater than mine, because
let's start a Kickstarter.
We're gonna have to. Because unfortunately, we're going to get upset about this. It just goes straight onto Twitch. You download. You're all going to get upset about this. Pep Guardiola cannot afford to buy 22 world-class players. So it's going to fall on us now, because although when he's got no money to sign 22 world-class players, he's got 57 million lying around to sign Laporte.
Yeah, but everyone's got that.
Everyone's got 57 million lying around.
Decent player, I think he's worth it.
He is worth it.
Better than Stones.
Albeit we're being facetious here, however, £57 million for Laporte is a steal as well.
But then look, you're forgetting
a
the
great
cost
player.
wages, there's agent fees, there's squad harmony. You don't know what he's going to be like personally. You don't know if he's going to take to the area. You're not thinking about these things, are you? What he means to say is there are different factors.
There's loads of different factors, but what my point is that
Could hate Manchester.
Pep Guardiola, who's manager of one of the richest clubs, if not the well, PSG probably are richer, but one of the most richest clubs in world football, saying that anything about not having enough money is the equivalent of a millionaire complaining he's not a billionaire. You've got enough money.
I think
I think
it was a distraction thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was indeed, but it's still
a bit of Mourinho in.
He came out and he mentioned money, and he's manager of Man City. He ain't manager of Hull. He's not manager. He ain't manager of Bournemouth. He's manager of Manchester City. They've spent, when Laporte comes through, they will have spent 190. I know, I saw it. They spent 190 million on defenders since the end of last season. 190
look
million.
What they've achieved.
Don't mention, yeah, but don't bring money into it. It's like Mourinho saying about money. Albeit United are bankrolled and they raise money. Yeah, and they as Wenger said, United pay money that they've earned. Mm-hmm. So they make money and then they spend it. Man City spent money because they had it. PSG spend money because they had it. Mm-hmm. Barcelona spend money because they don't pay tax. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
The old Harry read that.
Allegedly.
But do you see the difference? I just think that Mourinho complaining about not having money in any way, shape, or form is an absolute shambles.
So, yeah, that's what I think. Fantasy football tip for you?
Yeah.
Ryan Fraser.
Yeah, you said Ryan Fraser before. It's
you didn't do it, did you?
I didn't.
So I definitely think him. Would you need another midfielder?
Yeah, I need another midfielder.
How big can you go? What's your budget?
I haven't got much of a budget. This is the problem. We're gonna have to go into this more.
Do you know who I'm enjoying
off
at the moment?
Yeah,
James Ward-Prowse. He's a little nifty.
Yeah, no,
you want a bigger player, do you?
No, not what I need.
JWP.
Right, look, I got two free transfers. Right, my midfield. The problem that I have with my midfield, I've got Richarlison and I've got Moy.
Richarlison should have gone ages ago.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't got enough free.
Moy's fine.
No, I haven't got these funds because I've got Salah, Kane, Aguero, and Firmino. That costs a lot of money. I've also got Mustafi and Jones. So there's an awful lot of funds there. The only way of me bringing in a player to replace Richarlison, who is decent enough, is by getting rid of one of the more expensive players.
Yeah, okay. So you need to get funds with two removed. And then
so basically, I'm thinking Mustafi down to a 4.5-ish, and then Richarlison up. But again, I don't know.
You're just beasting your front line.
Yeah, I'm keeping it.
Okay, right. Thanks ever so much.
For listening.
Mwah.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Cheers,
Don't forget to share the video if you could to all your friends and people, even if they're not friends, even if you hate them.
If you hate them, send us the video.
If they're your friends, then surprise them with the treat that is the FIFA Ramble. If you hate them, then spoil their day by showing them the FIFA Ramble. Whichever way, if you get the word out there, I'm grateful. Share it on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at the FIFA Ramble. Follow us on Instagram, FIFA Ramble. Follow us on Twitch at the FIFA Ramble.
I'm going to try a few more things, but thank you very much.
And all of you people, like the Facebook page.
We're out in 1 hour. 1 hour. Done. Yes. 1 hour there. We've got Hangouts.
I forgot about you people.
Thanks, YouTube. We'll spend some more time on making it more palpable. We're going to try some stuff and make it look a lot better, because otherwise it's just talking to us in a room. And I know this seems weird, but thank you ever so much.
Yes.